Other than that, you have to use an API to integrate on a platform.
Alright. The second question was about the performance of the app, whether it's a game or does it affect, does having an app affect the performance in the game?
See, it again depends on who your user is. If you are someone who's very much engaged in the game, like in the Angry Birds, people really don't like clicking on those ads. But if your ads are so much relevant to what the particular app is trying to deliver, then the CTRs are very high, the monetization levels are very high, and it does not distract the user. So the 3D ad which we showed, it was published on some of the latest, biggest publications in UK, and the engagement was so well targeted that people spend a lot of time. So there is where the real technology comes, where you serve the most relevant ads. If the ad is very relevant to what your app is, the engagement will be much higher, it does not hinder the performance. If it is totally irrelevant, yes, then it affects the performance.
What in your opinion is the best way for an app developer to go for? Is it local or global? Because you have four examples, right?
Yeah.
All apps.
So again, it depends on what your app is. If your app is more towards social media, social networking or games, you have to think much more global. I'll give you an example. There's an app called Jungle Mumble based out of South Africa, and they started from Africa and their focus was more Africa. It's an app which basically tells short stories to young kids. So the target audience was young parents who have kids in the age of I think 4 to 12 years, and they were selling stories on the iPhone, the Android and the iPad. And they were sharing data with us that they advertise on our platform, and they were not getting more downloads from Africa but from far off countries like China, India, Far East. So the point is, if your category is very broad like a game or a social networking, you have to think global. But if your app is trying to solve a very local problem, then of course you have to think very locally. So if I am developing an app for deal fish, I'm an e-commerce platform within East Africa, then your focus is of course in Africa. But if it's a more social game or those kind of utilities, you have to think global. And there have been cases where when the app developer went global, made much more money than when he was focusing only locally.